But now that they don't have to worry about changing on time, they notice each other's figures and tease each other, Susumi and the other girl, Michi, agreeing that out of them, Manami's the most likely to get a boyfriend, though probably not with Hitomi, considering he might swing another way. But they also wonder how Alice got a cult-like following so fast. Being American doesn't seem like a compliment considering how weird they are compared to their French settlers, so that can't be it. Maybe she's cuter than every other girl, and because they're ultra jocks, they consider them to be too manly. Even though they look like normal high school girls. They also seem to really like her, but really odd. But they all think beach butt isn't exactly helpful for a tournament, so they got nothing to worry about. They'll just doodle another girl soon enough. But Manami is having a hard time putting on her bra, having found out her chest had grown to a D cup. She was fine with smaller size bras a while ago, so why now does it have to be this way? And so, Michi and Susumu put their night clothes on and do the greatest thing ever. Block the boobs. They huddle around her, blocking her nipples with toilet paper cloth taped to Susumi and Manami's breasts, and they go to run straight for Manami's room. They watch out for any guys, and the coast seems to be clear, but oh god, the Alice fan club is here. Of course they are. Hey Aya. So, do you mind if we just go in this room real quick? Yeah sure, we are just waiting for Alice to feel our appreciation for her. The president says. God, can you stalkers shut up? I'm trying to, Hitomi yells at them, opening his door, but then Hitomi notices what was going on back there. Why are you three huddling all the way here? Class feed info. Yes, that's understandable and all, but why on earth didn't you just go in? The two other girls blush immensely, and they run in, leaving the toilet paper outside. Then Hitomi gets a text on his flip phone telling him about the situation. Apparently Manami's bra doesn't fit her anymore, and, well, they might have to go shopping for one for tomorrow. He volunteers, since they'll have to head back home anyway, and that makes Michi and Susumi relieved. So, he ends up walking all the way to the local clothing store, making sure he checks both ways and also avoiding cars. Because he can't get into a specialized store, because he's a guy, he heads to a general store. Then, he double checks with Manami on what her size is, which she tells him, very willingly. He ends up getting about 3, 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 pink. Because, well, he's hung out with girls enough to know about style. When he goes to the cashier, he mentions the issue. And they understand. He pays for the bras using cash on him, and puts them in his bag. Once he gets back, he notices the fan club is gone, and knocks on Manami's door, which she lets him in. He gives her the bras, and leaves, heading back to his room to sketch some more before bed. As he's about to go to sleep, she thanks him, and that they fit perfectly. They both go to sleep safe and sound. Day 15 of Alice being at school. After speaking her mind to someone, she enters her class. Not having any friends, she only focuses on her imagination, and the board when someone gets her attention. But something happened today. She was selected to bring the textbooks back to the library for today. Taking this as a challenge, she balances them all in one go, taking as much time as possible. But then she notices Hitomi coming from class 1C to go to the washroom, and they both slip and fall on each other. Ow. What the hell was that, for you big dummy? Sorry. It's my fault. Here, let me help you pick these back up for ya. Seriously? You think I need your help? Pfft. She seems to stare at him to get him to back off, but he insists. Fine. You can pick up the books for me, but do not spit in them. She demands him to do. Soon, she's off on her merry way again, balancing them. Of course, she thinks she's normally balancing them. However, that sudden surge made Hitomi pee a little. Which really disappointed him so much. It was physical testing day, but Alice made sure to work much harder than anyone else, as if she was ticked about something, and Hitomi noticed. Actually, the entire circle did, and, well, then everything went normal for Hitomi until all of a sudden, Alice meets him on his way back. Oh. Never noticed you lived next to me. Well, that just gives me a reason to watch you. You know, you don't really need to watch me. Of course I do. You never know when you'll crave something into my room and spy on me with it. Whoa. Someone's doing that to you? Yes, and it's very disturbing. Wait, why am I telling you this, you idiot? You are trying to get my guard down. Well, I can't get it down if you always are on high alert. And even then, it's not really either of our faults. Look, just don't perv on me and we'll be fine, got it? Okay. Geez, you don't have to be so hipper. I'm not hipper. I want some privacy. She shuts the door, retreating to her room. She still seems to be grumbling about it. And soon after, the fan club came, and seeing how frustrated she was about this, Hitomi decides to ask them to leave. They mock him, but, well, they don't want to get in trouble, so they threaten to get the school to gang up on him. Nanami comes by and asks why the entire fan club was running away, to which he told her that he told them to leave. She can't believe his bravery, and asks if he got to talk to Alice today. He said yes, and she seemed really creeped out by the cult following she has now. Well, for a small girl like that, she can't exactly not be worried about it. Alice comes out the door, politely thanking him for driving them away, but then punches him in the chest and yells at him for calling her small. She's just strategically spaced. He apologizes right away, and just said that had someone been stalking him, he couldn't help it either. She stares at him for a minute, and then shuts the door again. Geez, she really is strong and agile. Day 16. Despite it being a Saturday, Hitomi ends up in a fight with the leader of the Taekwondo club, but he doesn't back down or give up. After tossing and turning him around on the pavement, he leaves Hitomi there, to the horror of Manami. Since the nurse isn't here, considering that it's a weekend, she takes him to her room. Being part of the swimming club, whose activities got cancelled, she knows how to at least help. Hitomi is bedridden for a few days, but he doesn't regret it. Sticking up for someone should be done no matter what. But she doesn't know about physical injuries that much, and going to a doctor would be a bit of a stretch. So Manami knocks on Alice's door. I swear to God, if the fan club is back and stalking me on weekends now, I'm going to. She opens the door. Oh. It's the best of the swim club. Here to mock me, because I can't swim as good as you, is that it? No. Not at all, miss. Oh, thank God. I'd tell you to go away, but I got all day. What exactly do you need? Your expertise, actually. You know, that boy you met yesterday? He got beat up, didn't he? Well, he's a loser, but he's a loser that I can afford not to hate. Take me to him, giant tits. Excuse me? Alice just stares at her for a bit, and it's kind of odd. Eventually, she comes up with something to say. You didn't give me your name, so I'm calling you by your most recognizable trait. It's convenient and easy to remember. Now Manami understands why the girls don't like her that much. She's blunt, extremely chill about herself. My name's Manami. Please don't make me spell it out. I wasn't asking. They get to her room, and, well, she sees the problem. Oh boy. Bruises all over the place, a broken knee, a broken ankle on the other leg, and fall trauma on the head. They did him good. Shaw, do you know how to help him? P-F-F-T-T-T. Of course I do. We just have to brace all the broken joints and apply healing oil. Fortunately, I always keep medical tape on me. She ends up doing it pretty well, but, other than the joints, it didn't do anything to ease the pain. Oh, I was supposed to get the herbs. Have you even done this on someone else before? Shut it, Monamilky, I haven't, and it's my first time doing it on a boy. Actually, you know what? Go get it for me. Drawer 2, left side of bed, glass container. Forced to be Alice's errand girl, she goes there and finds the herbs, giving it to her. Wow. You didn't take off. Surprised. I'm more surprised you even make someone do all this stuff. After tearing some of the herbs off, his injuries felt a little bit better. There. He feels better now. Wait, Alice. Tanner. Call me Tanner, since you aren't my friend. Whatever. Tanner, why are you so pouty all the time when someone talks to you? The expression on Alice's face seems to give off the impression that she doesn't know either. Why do you have to bring up touchy subjects around me, geez? And we only just met today. Well, you did call me giant tits and Monamilky, so I just want to make sure you're doing okay. You idiot. I'm doing fine. She runs out of the room. And no, before you even ask, I don't need friends. All the people here are too full of themselves. She runs in her room, but forgets to lock the door in her confusion. Curious, Manami watches her. She seems to remain pouty for a few minutes, but after that, she somewhat becomes serene, relaxed, actually pretty happy compared to what she makes herself seem like. And what do you know? She's reading manga. Some pretty manly ones at that. Actually, she even giggles to herself. She lets her be in peace for a bit before saying, Hey Tanner-chan, you forgot to close the door. Then don't tell me about it, do it yourself, you crazy ass lesbian, watching me. Read. All of a sudden, Alice looks away and blushes a little. You saw nothing. And you also heard nothing, right? Yeah. I saw nothing. Good. Manami shuts the door, well, reminded that she's still the same chill person she was on day one, even if she's ultra personal and pretending to be hard to approach. Day 21. Hitomi can finally go back to class, but, as he's about to, Alice of all people stops him, as he walks with his stretcher. Hey idiot. You really shouldn't push yourself to go to class today. Don't worry Alice, I'll be fine. No you won't. Look, your posture's all funny. She comically carries him back to his room, and puts him to bed. She then leaves to head for class. Surprisingly, the fan club has been less obsessive, mostly, because they now have a shrine filled with pictures of Alice, but that's besides the point. But, it got Alice thinking. What, if she ran for student council president right before voting day? And so, she did, smiling on her way out. Manami catches her smiling though. Monamilky, stop gawking at me and go eat your lunch. But don't you want to come with me? No. I'm not your friend, remember? Day 22. It's voting day, and, to no one's surprise, the Alice fan club openly said they'd vote her, but she's getting sick of all the attention she's still getting, so she straight up comes to the collation's room. Hey, it's me. The girl you don't like so much. I have come to announce that the fan club is annoying. So, if you don't mind, try to get the boys' attention. Otherwise I might outshine you all. She winks. Of course, Manami was waiting there. So, Miss Tenrek, you actually did it. Yeah, hate all the talk of my ass going on. However, she stops and begins to protest about something. Wait, I'm not saying I want less of an ass. It's one of my best charms. I did want them to bow to me for my personality, right? I was going to say that milky me. I want them to treat me like a god you only pray to when times get tough. She nervously sweats, and tries to calm down a little. What were you doing waiting for me? Oh nothing, just waiting for friends to show up. What kind of friends do you even have? I mean, you seem more like a drill sergeant more than a high school. You know, athlete friends. The kind you play sports with. We all go to different clubs, but unfortunately, the swimming club's delaying its practices. So, I gotta just wait and do stuff. Never thought you'd waste time at a club with a bunch of overcompetitive jerks. I'm a proud member of the Go Straight Home Club. Home's better than annoying people. Wait, you're clubless? Correctamundo. All of them are boring and filled with, you know what? That's exactly what your little sweet loser is too. Alice's expression changes, almost like she's moderately curious. You did a good job of not pissing me off today, so, well, have a good night. Susumi and Michi finally get to the first floor hallway, where they are talking. Hey Manami, hope you didn't wait long for us, eh? Turned out we don't have practice today. No problem, I'm always here, no? Hey. Who were you talking to earlier? Oh yeah, Alice probably snuck away, while they were chatting. Oh, just Alice herself. You know she's actually going to win student council presidency, right? I never even knew she'd do such a thing. Who knows? Maybe she did it so she can get the discipline committee to do their job. Michi says, and they all laugh. Day 23 of Alice being at school. Alice actually knocks on Hitomi's door, and he opens up. Hello? Hey. I didn't know you wanted to see me again. I'm Hitomi by the way. Honestly, call me whatever you want. She blushes and looks away for a bit. What's your favorite color? Wait, what? It's quote as really super important. She pouts. It's black. You know, like ink. Her face lights up for a bit. Awesome. We're color buddies. Now what? Wait, did you just say ink? Yeah. If you didn't know, I mostly illustrate manga. Well, that's completely lame. Mind if I take a look? You know, to make sure you aren't being a pervert. Relax, I don't think that way about women. He sits down, on his rolling chair. She sits on the bed, and he shows her some of his sketches. One of them a knight in shining armor, another with a futuristic sword, one of them both. And some other male character sketches, and backgrounds, and even expressions. She seemed to be stunned and speechless, unable to make a single bad comment.